You know, Helmet, I really don't know what I want to play right now. Seems no matter what, I always have this issue.
Well, what are you in the mood for?
I don't know, Helmet, something good, something like not controversial, like we did for Devil May Cry, maybe, depending on when these go out, which I really shouldn't say because this is part of the skit, which I should know about.
How about this game?
No, I'm thinking probably more of a platformer.
This?
I really don't want to review Dark Souls right now, Helmet.
Oh.
If you're not going to suggest something good, you should probably just leave.
Would this do it?
It's not bad. What else you got?
Is this any closer?
That's perfect! This time on That Game Review Show, I'm going to be reviewing Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. God, this game was dusty. Back on the Super Nintendo, Rare's Donkey Kong Country series reigned supreme. Well, at least mostly. While Rare's Donkey Kong Country trilogy were phenomenal games and some of the best on the Super Nintendo, Rare was unfortunately sold away to Microsoft during the GameCube era. The company that pretty much perfected the series that Nintendo started so many years ago was now gone, off with Microsoft and the Xbox, like that would ever catch on. There were some missteps throughout the years with the games like Donkey Konga and Jungle Beat. Probably the best things to come out of this era in Donkey Kong's history were the GBA ports of the Super Nintendo games, which were actually developed by Rare. But lo and behold, the company who had successfully brought the Metroid series into the limelight on the GameCube, Retro Studios, brought the classic Donkey Kong Country series back to life. Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii was a stroke of genius for Retro and became a huge success. Oh yeah, while I'm here, check out the channel The Geek Critique. He's done quite a few videos on the Donkey Kong games post-Rare, and they're really interesting. Now, you must be asking yourself, James, why are you reviewing Tropical Freeze instead of Returns? Wouldn't it make far more sense to review them in order? Why start with Tropical Freeze and not one of the classic games? Well, it's pretty simple. It just came out on Switch. Alright, so let's put this bad boy in. Probably gonna take that out. Super Nintendo slot. Perfect. This was literally one of my favorite games on the ill-fated Wii U, probably barely beaten out by Yoshi's Woolly World and Pikmin 3. And Mario 3D World. And Mario Maker. And Wind Waker HD. Okay, I'll stop now. Shovel Knight. Anyways, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is one of the best platformers I've ever played. And, not gonna lie, probably the best Donkey Kong Country game ever. While I grew up with and loved Donkey Kong Country and Diddy's Kong Quest, I feel like Tropical Freeze was just better. Retro Studios knew exactly how to improve on the already outstanding Returns formula, and they did, within reason. Let's start with the gameplay. The game nailed the feel of a modern Donkey Kong Country game. Donkey Kong himself has the right amount of weight to his jumps that you figure a massive gorilla would have. You can jump, roll off edges to gain some horizontal movement, slam down on the ground, and grip onto vines and throwable objects. You do get access to 3 companions on your journey. Diddy Kong, the returning buddy from both the original series and Returns, sporting a jetpack for you to use to help line up jumps properly. Dixie Kong makes her Returns debut, sporting a hairspin that gives you some vertical momentum. And then Cranky Kong makes his first playable appearance, sporting a very DuckTales-esque cane bounce that will maintain all momentum, which actually makes speedrunning certain levels a real thrill. With this rather limited moveset, the level designs are phenomenal. Disregarding the returning vehicle levels, which I fucking love in this game, the themes and motifs that they came up with are so goddamn creative. Very few games like this will have you exploring a fruit factory where machinery are just trying to do their thing, or being thrown up in a Wizard of Oz style tornado. Nintendo themselves could take some notes from Retro on how to make exciting and interesting levels. Then the vehicle levels are just really creative as well. They felt like the development team wanted to stretch their legs a little and just created. My personal favorites are the rocket barrel stage where you end up flying through a wheel of cheese, and the minecart stage through the wood mill that ends up being destroyed and rebuilt pretty much all around you. The Kong stages though, whoo boy, they're a whole nother can of worms. If you collect every Kong letter in a stage, you unlock the special Kong Temple stage. These levels take specific mechanics and ramp them up to 11 in a super difficult test of skill. If you beat all of the Kong Temple stages, you unlock a secret world consisting of a few levels. And if you beat them all, you unlock Hard Mode, which limits you to not only one Kong, but you also only get one hit before death. Overall, it's a pretty good reward, if a bit tiring when you've already completed the game. I'd talk about the puzzle pieces, but in all reality, I don't care much. Sorry. The presentation is on point in this game. God, I hate that phrase. From the way the nature around you sways to the way the enemies waddle towards you, Retro did an amazing job. This game feels like a living world. Maybe not super realistic, but God, this world feels amazing. Then the music. Oh my lordy. Whoo lordy. The music is wonderful in this game. They got back the legend himself, David Wise, to compose the soundtrack for this game. At least most of it. Wise being the man who did the soundtrack in some of the original Donkey Kong Country games. As for the story, it's pretty self-explanatory. A tribe of Vikings called the Snowmads find DK Isle and take it over with their super cool ice horn. The DK crew get blown away from their island and have to make their way back home. And in the end, the DK crew defeat the Snowmads and return their island to the way it belongs. So, I'm sure it's pretty obvious I enjoyed this game. Actually, enjoy is kind of an understatement. I love this game. While the game is exactly the same on Switch, minus Funky Mode, which I have never used, I was way more than happy to rebuy it as soon as I could, just because I wanted more of this game in my life. Retro Studios really needs to work on the third in the series, or maybe make a Crash Bandicoot style 3D platformer. With the camera tricks in this game, you can already kinda see them going towards this direction. Retro, thank you for making this wonderful game, and no matter what your next project is, I'm sold. Well, unless it's like Metroid. No offense, but I don't think Metroid is that great, but that's just me. Maybe one day I'll review, like, an actual game sometime, but I'm gonna hold off for the moment. Actually, I'm surprised the FPS-loving Terrell hasn't already played and reviewed Retro's previous outings in the Metroid Prime trilogy. Maybe he's not good-looking enough. Perhaps, Terrell, this is a bit of a challenge for you. So I guess now I just need to find a new game to record.
I think James should review this game.
Oh. A call from Terrell. Hello.
Hey James, you should review Guns, Gore, and Cannoli. The second one just came out a couple months ago. I haven't seen the first one. I know you haven't played it, so you should do that.
Guns, Gore, and Cannoli, eh? You know, it's kind of convenient that you call me, like, right now, because I was just thinking I need to find a new game to record, so thank you for that.
Well, I guess enjoy it.
Oh, I will. I will enjoy it.
Thank you so much for watching this video. This video has taken a long time to edit, not nearly as long as the Devil May Cry review, thankfully, but it's still taken a while. However, I had a really good time doing this. I really love Tropical Freeze, if that wasn't blatantly obvious, considering this was pretty much just a gush session. In this end slate, I do want to talk. Welcome to Crab, aka Matthew, for joining the channel. That's really exciting. If you notice, we do have a actual like end screen now, which is cool. And yeah, we're starting to get more into actually making the channel quality. So please, let us know what you think down below. And as always, I will see you all next time.
Stay away from my urges.